architects, barbers, even cosmetologists, entrepreneurship and knowledge, bringing all of this. Hey.
So welcome to Beyond the Chairs podcast, and today we have my guest, Jamese Davis. Jamese Davis,
hey,
thank you for
coming.
Erica. She also was a panelist at our 2000, actually for both of them.
Yep, in the house.
2018 and 19 Beyond the Chair.
We gonna take it beyond the chair.
Yeah,
we gonna take it beyond the chair. Hey.
Yeah, so yeah. These are the people that I like to mentor. These are the people that I like to be around to share my knowledge with. So thank you for tuning in today. Okay, so Jamese, yes. So I have this little packet for you because you know the salons are opening up, right?
We back in
We are back. Officially, finally. Oh my gosh.
Right, it's been
you
too
just
long.
don't know how hard it's been to not do some hair.
Right.
Yes.
It's hard.
So, yeah. Okay. So, especially when this is your passion, this is your money maker, and you just love doing it. It's hard to just sit at home and not do it. I'm sorry. It's hard.
It is.
Okay. So the first thing is that we have the industry guidance, which is for hair salons and barbershops. So read over that. That's some information for you. And then I have a few, I guess you can say posters, signs that are required to be around the salon. So
make me some
make
nice
sure,
posters.
Yeah. So I don't know if you want to make posters, but these are nice quality colored signs that, that you can use.
That are requirements.
That are required. These are compliant signs. So this shows that you are compliant with opening up and you are, in compliance with the CDC. Okay. We also have a prepare your small business for your employees for COVID as well. Okay, so that's all for you.
Yeah, thank you so much. That is all vital information.
Yes, definitely. So read over that. If you have any questions, please call me. Let me know.
I will. That's love.
You know,
That's
I'm always on your dial.
The
Anytime you
right
need
here.
me. Anytime you need me.
Right here.
Yeah. So we back open.
Yeah.
We back open. But before we go to back opening, how did this hit you? I mean,
it hit hard and sudden. Mainly because, well, one, we know COVID came when it was flu season, right? So people were already sick, and I'm already like, to the sickness, right? Because I wear gloves when I cut hair, and I was already wearing a protective mask, just one to protect me from like flakes or whatever particles is coming off,
especially as a barber.
Heads, as a barber, and then also bad breath from people, and then also for real, that's it, for real.
Breath.
Or shoot, I could have just had lunch and ate some onions or something,
and
I don't want to
display that to your client.
You know what I mean?
Well,
I'm trying to be courteous. So I'm already kind of like on edge about that, and I express it like unapologetically to my clients that if you come in here sick, like I'm gonna take it as disrespect because this is my livelihood. I ain't got PTO. I don't have none of that.
It's disrespectful, y'all. It's disrespectful.
I mean, you would think that people would not, because when I'm sick, I would not go get my hair. Why would I go get my hair done?
Why?
I hate feeling sick, so I want to be in bed. So people really come like sniffing, like been sick. Oh, I've been sick all day. Well, why are you here in my chair? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So anyway, I was already being cautious about the flu and stuff. So when that started hitting, the flu was hitting. And then when I heard about that, I was like, oh no. So me being me, I closed down right away. However, I also...
What date? Because I know a lot of people...
March 17th.
Wow. So you've been closed literally from March... So
March 17th.
Can I say I did not close down on March 17th? I closed down probably about the beginning of April. I mean, officially, because I closed down my salon in conjunction with how the board was kind of, running their facility. So I was like, they ain't closed down, so I'm not going to close down yet. When the board closed down,
that's when I'm going to close down.
That's when I'm going to close down, because legally, obviously, they're open. So,
right.
So
that's
when
real. So I closed down. The barbers, that meant that I wasn't making money. That meant that the barbers weren't making money. I was advising them to be safe, let's see where this leads us, what's gonna be going on, and then let's make our decision from there. So as time went by, I just kind of started feeling like, all right, now, come on now. If quarantine works, then why are we wearing masks? If masks work, why are we quarantining? So it's just been too many conflicts with just the whole story and everything. For me in particular, I'm not saying COVID isn't real. But what I'm saying is all the things and stipulations and additives that they've put with it is for something else, not for the health. And I think
that's because of the unknownness of the virus.
Right.
They're not really familiar with how it affects, how it's transferred. It's just not a lot of knowledge on it. So they just giving you speculative, guesses or hypotheses, as they say, right?
Right. And so it's like, shoot, if I'm gonna go off their hypothesis, I'll go off my hypothesis.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna lean on at least my educational guess.
Been educated in this as well. Yeah.
Exactly. And so being off for that time, of course, I took a hit as far as with finances.
That's what I want to get to. So it's a lot of people that have applied for the SBA.
Yep.
Small business loan. Yeah. So that was for small businesses.
I didn't get approved for any type of extra money.
This is what I'm trying to figure out. Why is it that the small businesses weren't included in these loans? Because from what I heard, a lot of the loans were given to places like Ruth Chris.
Right. Yeah. They're small businesses.
The Laker organization. Literally, and they had to give the funds back. So I don't know what they were doing as opposed to what we were doing when we filled out those applications. But we need some answers, SBA. We need some answers about why real small businesses, and every single one that I've contacted hasn't had access to these funds that you say are out here for small businesses.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And my landlord, I honestly didn't even contact her and try to compromise on the rent just because.
Me neither.
One, for me, I'm just like I want to be a property owner, and so I kind of put myself in those shoes as well, and I'm just like, dang, like it's compromising her as well. So if because I had money saved up, I kept my integrity. You know what I mean? I kept it respectful.
See, that's what I mess with.
And I walked in her office to give her a check, and I know she was just thinking, oh gosh, when I was walking in the door,
it's gonna be partial, or it's gonna be a story, or no.
And the first thing I asked her, how was she doing? How was she holding up? First thing, I'm stressed out. She's a black lady from Sierra Leone. So she owns three units on Hawthorne Boulevard. Yes.
Okay.
And then her business is a nurse. She runs like an in-home nurse care business as well. Okay. And so I handed her check, and the whole energy changed. It flipped. Like it was kind of like a respect level flipped. And I was like, I was just coming to give you the rent. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm out. Yeah. And so I took a big L. I still been having the same bills and everything, insurance, business insurance,
our
all
bank
of that.
Accounts, y'all are suffering.
Literally a drain at the bottom and nothing coming out, out the top.
As a business person, you know how that feels. It's just, oh gosh, it's something hard to live with.
Yeah, for real.
But we're going to make it through. We back at work now.
Well, we back. And I'm about to be in overdrive.
Y'all need to make some appointments.
Facts. Book up.
Yes. So, Jamese, okay, now we got the cold COVID out the way. Tell me a little bit about you and how you got into the business, how you got interested into being a barber.
And being a barber.
Out of all things, too.
I think it really, if I can just... if I'm just looking at my life and determining what brought me to barbering, it would be just my artist eye, just my eye for detail. You know what I mean? Like I always looked at haircuts. I always admired nice, detailed, clean hairstyles, whether it was women's hair or men's hair. Just as a kid, I can remember liking when my cousins got their haircut. Like, wow, I like your sideburns. Those are so straight. Like, you know what I mean? But I didn't, of course, realize that through my process of getting to where I am now. So I can look back and be like, dang, that's what it was. But I guess in physical form, it was me going to college, not having a lot of money, using something that I knew how to do. And I knew how to do it just because to me, it was common sense. Like, oh, if I just use a one and go all against the grain, and then I know what I want the lineup to look like. So that's going to be solely up to me, you know what I mean? And how much hair they have. So I used basically my common sense, went at probably like 16 or 17. I did it once or twice on some cousins. From there, I knew I could do it. So it wasn't until I got to college where I started being like, one, you look raggedy, homie, to my homeboys. Two, I know how to cut, so let me try. And then I did, and then I started turning it into a lucrative thing. You know what I mean? Over time.
So that was during college.
$5, $10, $12. I left Fresno charging $25. Wow. So within 3 years, I'm charging $25. I'm not even saying almost. I skip class a lot of times to do cuts. I'm not gonna lie, because
to do cuts. Did you hear that?
Because
while you giving that university money, you better just go to Barber in school.
Exactly. And so it's crazy because it took adversity for me to really tap into my gift, or tap into something that I was really desperate. So that's why I tapped into it, and then it ended up being something good for me. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was college, needing extra money, and then knowing I knew how to do it. Then from there, I was popular in college because I ended up pledging and stuff. So then I knew a lot of people. So then I really started taking the real Barbers clients, like from people from Fresno.
Charging less.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Oh, okay.
People from Fresno, really just the community started coming to me. So then from there, I still actually graduated Fresno State and went and got a job and wasn't exercising barbering. And I was only at the time cutting my boyfriend's hair at the time and probably his close homies. Mm-hmm. And that was it when I was living in Bakersfield working.
So you had your degree at this time?
I had my degree.
So you weren't doing what you went to school? I weren't doing
what I went to school for. I was working at Enterprise Rent-A-Car as a management trainee. And I hated every day of it. And that's ultimately what pushed me to, because I was just like, I don't know what I want to do. Right. I know I don't want to do this.
What did you get your degree in?
In criminology. My intent with that was to, I majored in criminology so I could learn just about crime and every aspect of crime. And then my plan was to go to law school so I can be a defense attorney, ultimately.
Well, we need you right now.
Yeah.
Based on George Floyd,
yeah, and Trayvon Martin, and the countless, and so Trayvon Martin happened when I was in school, and so let me tell you real quick, that is what changed my path. That's what changed my path, literally. I can remember being in a class, Policing in America. All this is going on with Trayvon Martin and everything. I'm in class. I'm probably like 2 of the colored people in class, and one's black and one's probably something else.
Yeah, because you guys went to Fresno.
Yeah, and I read the first sentence that said policing began in America with the abolishment of slavery, to protect whites from potential rebellious slaves. And that just resonated so hard with me. Like, that day is the day that I decided that I don't want nothing to do with the criminal justice, because it really showed me why Zimmerman wasn't guilty, because the Constitution didn't include black people. The laws didn't include black people. Never was meant. And so it just made so much sense. So then I felt like, okay, well, yeah, I could be a lawyer and try and protect people, but then I'm also susceptible to those same laws. I have good intent, but when you a lawyer, you are working under this set of laws, this system. So there's good cops, there's good lawyers, but we can separate that and say they're good people and they have good intent. But the moment they put on that suit or go into that establishment where they're working for the law, they're working for the law, not for them and their opinion and their people.
And how that rings and resonates towards me as being a state examiner and being, under the system. Mm-hmm. It's crazy, the things that I see the state doing, but yet they don't they don't hold those same standards at all. For themselves.
Or anybody under that.
Licensures means nothing to them. They put who they want in positions.
Right.
You know.
Right.
If it's
not who's qualified.
Not who's qualified. No.
Not who does the job wholeheartedly with the intent to help people in that industry. You know
Definitely.
what I mean? So that is what changed my heart and changed my path. And at the time, like I said, I didn't know what I was going to do. So I went and got that job. I just wanted to make myself feel good because I got a job that required a degree. So it made me feel like, okay, well, at least I'm utilizing my degree. You know, it, like for real, it stroked my little ego a little bit. It scratched it, you know? So
especially after how much money?
Exactly, $40K in the hole.
Exactly.
And still being broke. And so, you know, I'm getting, I got that job from being in my sorority. I ended up getting referred to the recruiter. She ended up knowing some people in my chapter. Then boom, she invited me to the interview. I hadn't even filled out the application yet.
So it's true about...
It's true.
Not what you know.
It's who you know. It truly is.
That's just bottom line.
That's
you
true.
can go to 20 schools. Wait, you can have a mama that knows somebody that paid for the SAT.
That will pay, exactly. That's really real. It's really real.
It ain't about, you know, it ain't about their system of education at all.
Nope.
Not at all. So,
yeah. So from there, I ended up being a bar. I couldn't take the job. I didn't last even a year on the job. I quit at 9-month mark after I had my second, what do you call that, anxiety attack on the job. Yeah.
So you started developing anxiety.
Anxiety, yep, from that job. And from not being happy.
If you're not doing what you were put here to do, that's what's going to start happening to you.
And
because
you got
it's
up
fulfilling
to you.
your purpose.
And it's up to you to answer to that.
Yes.
Or to keep just, you know, battling against that feeling or going with that flow.
Yes.
You gotta take heed to what's going on with you and you know, be bold and brave enough to, at least if you know you don't want to do what you're doing, you will go hard at something else. You know what I mean?
And dedication.
So that's what I drove off of, the fact that I wasn't gonna let myself fail. Although I didn't know exactly what I was gonna do. But then it was working at Enterprise, the only thing that did benefit me is that they have these corporate accounts with Enterprise. And so there's companies that pay for their employees to have cars when they come into town.
Right.
So sometimes when we would pick people up, they would ask me like what did I do in school? I would tell them and they would be like, well, what are you doing here? I'm like, I don't know. They're like, well, what's your skill? Boom. So they would lead me to, you should go to barber school. You should be a barber.
Right.
And then, so that kind of built my courage to quit the job. And then, boop, I went to barber school right away, full time, between 9 and 10 months. Got my, passed the state board, worked in a shop. The very next day I was at a shop. I stayed there for almost a year and a half, and then I got the opportunity to open my shop.
Okay, so that's what I want to say. So so I know you got your barbering license. Do you think that it was important to go beyond the chair, to go out and be a salon owner as opposed to just renting a booth or just staying in that position? Do you think it's important to...
I think it is. I think it's important. But I do think it's also a calling to be a shop owner because
so not everybody
is built for it.
Okay.
Because it takes a different level of responsibility, and if you know, some people don't desire that level of responsibility. Right. But it definitely is a level of responsibility. It also comes with the reward. Right. And so some people, the reward, they cool with what they got now, but you know, for that responsibility, it's too much. You know what I mean? And so, I think it's definitely important for the people who do have those resources to become owners, because then you give people opportunity. The moment you get more space, you got more responsibilities. Like, for instance, for me, I didn't just have to have my barber license. I had to have a business license. I had to have the establishment license. I had to have the state board license for the shop. So it was several things and processes that I had to go through when I really could have just held my license and went and rented a little suite on my own. You know what I mean? Right. Mm-hmm. And so I decided, I was torn, like, dang, I'm scared. I don't know what to do. I didn't go to school for business.
Now you're responsible for other people.
Yeah, and I had to get business insurance. I had to do all these things, get an LLC. I had all of these things that ultimately could have ran me away, for real. Like, it really took courage. It really took just understanding that it is a bigger purpose behind it.
Right.
You know, not just to say I'm an owner and stuff like that, but me owning the shop
also. It puts you in a leadership position.
It put me in a leadership position, and also just more than just with the barber situation. Like, I'm able to rent my space to other people, other entrepreneurs. Right. I'm able to put their stuff in my shop because I know I'm gonna get his clients, all of the barber's clients plus my clients are gonna be walking through there. So
right. You
know, at that point you become, you know, kind of like a marketing tool, an advertising tool, which is helpful. Right. Yeah, you know, it's helpful. And so, yeah, I think it is important, but for those who are responsible enough and are givers, like, I don't know how to go hand in hand, but you know what I mean?
Okay, so licensures, you already know I'm state board, and I'm just battling with whether state board, I don't know. I'm just battling with state board right now. But do you think licensures is important, or do you think that it's like a barrier for people that want to get in the business?
I think licensure is important because I've been on both sides. I've been the barber that was cutting in college that didn't have no license and didn't know sanitation. You know what I mean? For real, keep it 100. You know, I've been that barber.
And you seen the difference?
And I did see the difference. The things that I learned in barber school mainly was the sanitation stuff. I already knew how to cut, so I was going to learn about the other stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it is important. You know, we deal with sharp tools, just like doctors, just like dentists. So, you know, you got to know how to deal with those type of things.
And human to human contact.
Human to human contact and blood, you know, bloodborne pathogens and stuff like that. I never heard that word until I went to barber school, you know what I mean? So I think it is important. Do I think it could probably be like compacted, like maybe you don't have to do so many hours or something where you can just strictly just learn about sanitation in this time, and then maybe it'd be another chamber where you can get experience at actually cutting hair, because at my school they didn't really teach you how to cut hair like that.
Right.
If the barbers had another source to go, like, oh, you can go, you like, for instance, if a barber school said each barber student has to have 30 hours of hair cutting, right? Of strict hair cutting. Then they had a couple organizations that have people like you and I signing off hours because we teaching people how to cut because it's from our experience.
Right.
Then I think that would be better, you know, because they will be in the field at a barbershop, you know, under somebody, like an apprenticeship pretty much.
Right.
I think that would be better if you split it up. But I was in the school for 1,500 hours.
Right. And I think that's a legitimate argument because I noticed as, you know, just doing this research, because this is my passion and, you know, I just want to take it way beyond the chair. I was just doing a lot of research on other people that have been licensed, like doctors, nurses, dentists. It seems as though we're the only ones that are required to do a practical exam. Mostly all the other people are doing their hands-on training within the hospitals. Literally. They're doing them within a dentistry. They're doing them within establishments that are already practiced. And I think that's something that we can adopt, you know, for our business and, you know, to make it more legitimate and make it more pleasing to the people that want to be in the business. Yeah, and there's nothing better than hands-on in the field training to get better. That's the only way. You can look as long as you want to. Right. But until you actually get out there. YouTubers. You know what I mean? Like, until you actually do it, then that's when you're going to learn. But, you know, schools have where people can come get serviced and stuff like that. But it's not, the way my school was set up. Yeah, the way my school was set up, it did not teach many people how to cut. Like, I was in there teaching more people how to cut than the teachers were, and it was just trash. Marinello, R.I.P. because Marinello is no longer in business. But you got your license. I got mine. That's all right. Yeah. So, and I wanted to say that it seems that education is getting ready to go towards distance learning. So it might be something that we can look at as far as, having people come to the salon, doing our internship, sign off on that, and be able to have those hours as well.
Right.
And then do your distance learning with the school, online.
Online, yeah.
Yes.
I think that's a good solution.
Yes. Okay, so what type of advice would you give up-and-coming barbers that are wanting to get into the industry?
I would say go to school. Like, don't try to dodge going to school, because it's going to eventually hit you where you need that license, no matter how good you are. To be honest, no matter how good you are, you will hit a dead end and it will make you feel some kind of way, because you're going to be like, but I know how to cut.
Right.
Like, but I know how to cut. Yeah, but you're not licensed.
Exactly.
That's just what it is. So you got to get that out the way, number one. If you aren't that good and you are licensed, then I would say, one, it is good to visualize. So yeah, you can watch YouTube videos just to visualize and see what things look like. But, go to barbershops or the shop you work at. You should always be up in the experienced barbers' faces, because we like to teach. If you're good at something, you like to give it away. You like to teach your techniques, you know what I mean? And try different techniques. And use social media for free advertising. Like, I can't stress that enough. Like, literally, I have seen how social media has impacted me as a barber with my clientele. I hashtag LA Barber, Lady Barber, LA Barber Shops, and LA Barbers in every single picture that I post, which means that for people that are like moving to LA or not familiar with LA and they're looking for a barbershop, they go to the search engine on Instagram and put LA Barbers. Boom, click enter. Now, I didn't put all 1,000 of my pictures under that.
On so LA Barber.
You gon' see my pictures in there, along with whoever else is hashtagging.
LA Barber, right.
Yeah, and so you don't even understand. Like, I got a quick testimony real quick. I don't know if you know who Blame It On Quay is, but he's a guy, he be having on like the blue wig and stuff. He's real funny, real cool guy. He found me on Instagram and hit me up and asked me, was I doing house calls at the time? I wasn't at the time, but we ended up linking up a little later after that. But I'm just saying that to say, one, I know his business partners, right? So I thought in my mind, oh, Natasha probably told him about me and so, right?
Right.
No, when I met up with him, he said, nah. He was like, wait, you know Tasha? And I was like, yeah, I thought she told you about me. He was like, nah, I literally just found you on Instagram under LA Barbers. I said, that happened to me 3 times since I've been a barber.
Yes, get your Instagrams.
It works. And so for me, like, when I see, like, if your social media, if you are in business, a small business, or just an entrepreneur, your social media should say exactly what you do. Like, if you tell me you a barber and I go to your Instagram and I don't see no haircuts, unless you got like 10,000 followers and you do something else on the side and you got a whole nother barber page. If you a photographer and I go to your page and just see nothing but selfies of you and no pictures, none of your work. If you do hair, if you do nails and I don't see that, like, you got to do better. That means, like, what are you really doing? Like, who are you really trying to capture as a client? Like, you know what I mean?
Definitely got to have a focus point when you're posting.
It's not just, like, I think people misunderstand hashtags, because I ain't gonna lie, when I first started hashtagging, you just put what you want, like, hashtag, I ain't playing, hashtag, I'm clean with it, hashtag, you wish you had a barber like me. You know what I mean? No, people are not searching that. You have to think about what people search. I even sometimes try to hack it and, like, put, like, hashtag love, because I know a lot of people be looking at stuff that has to do with love, or hashtag just LA beaches or something like that, because I put my pictures in with that stuff.
What you call it? Hashtag hacking.
Yep. Hashtag hacking. Yeah. So market yourself and always sharpen your craft. Always.
So let's see. What about maintaining the integrity of the business? How do you think that we can maintain the integrity? I know licensure to you is important. We definitely definitely
should have your license. Like, when I've had a couple barbers try to get in my shop And then when we get to the license, where your license at? Then it get a little weird. Like, oh, I ain't got it yet, but you know, when I was cutting in New York, like, dude was just letting me, you know, do my thing. And I'm like, well, dude, ain't me. I'm sorry. And you know, I don't know why you expect me to put my whole business on the line, because you don't want to go get that same education that everybody in here has gotten. So you expect to thrive off of something that everybody in here thrives off of, but has had to go through steps and levels to be able to rightfully earn. And you know, so like I said, I've been that barber that was making money on the side. It's crazy. I've had people be like when I ask them, do they need a cut? Oh, I don't do the house cuts. Accountable. Everybody that's in your reach, or you know, at least you know, advertising that you are holding up the standard, you know what I mean? And so, and that you ain't, I'm not going below the standard. I'm sorry.
That's what I'm talking about.
No,
like,
you know, you can look at it however you want to.
Because some owners would be okay with, I mean, because they know they about to get paid.
Right. And so people.
So they would be okay with having them rent the chair as long as they board don't come in there.
You know, money is really a cold piece of work.
It's the root, man.
For real.
It's the root.
A lot of people will break their integrity, everything for $1. And I always say, like, if $1 is your number one value, then you in trouble, because it's infinite. Like, you can never have enough money. You always gonna be looking for another dollar, another dollar, another dollar, another dollar. And so you gotta find something else that's meaningful, that drives you, you know, to do the right thing.
Yes.
Besides money, you know what I mean? You shouldn't always have to be bribed by money.
That's for sure. Yeah. That's for sure. So we have an audience question that wants to ask about, what age do you think it's appropriate for a barber to cut a child's hair?
That's a good question. I think it's appropriate whenever the baby will sit still. Honestly, like, I think I've cut a baby that can't walk. I've cut kids that can't talk.
Right.
But if they sat there, then I know a way to be gentle and harmless to the kid. And you don't want to be hitting them with super sharp objects. Most of the time, if it's a baby like that, then you just gonna go ahead. And most of the time, like, if it's long hair, you know, it'd be long and matted. Like most little babies, where their parents don't really do that, comb their hair out a lot, it'd be real matted. So I just kind of like lightly pull it up, and then, like, you know, bring the clipper, and then whatever is already cut, I grab that so that it doesn't just tangle. You know, you just gotta pay attention.
Right.
You can see if the hair is getting tangled and it's gonna pull from the scalp. That's what's gonna make the baby cry. So you just gotta be attentive and, you know, care about the baby being hurt and being safe.
No specific age.
No, I wouldn't say. Honestly, I wouldn't say no specific. Now, I would say different types of haircuts. Like if a person came to me with a 1-year-old talking about something, I want to give them a bald fade. Nah, that's not gonna work because one, that's gonna be very low. You know, it's gonna be scraping them, and babies are just a lot more sensitive, and you should pay attention to that. So I think it just varies with the different styles. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, so I would say, yeah, as far as age. So toddlers, maybe just give them, buzz them. Okay. You know, buzz them. And if you can hit the, you know, just give them a little line around the back and the ears and leave it at that.
So you wouldn't line a baby in the front, area?
Not a baby that can't walk or nothing like that. Now, like a 3, 4, maybe 3, 4, 5, like if they sitting still enough, then I will just use like my least sharp clippers and hit them very lightly. And I'd never go, like, babies are gonna grow into their hairline. So I always do it where I think the hairline is gonna be at, not where their hair is already. Okay. Because it's always gonna grow in.
Good advice.
And so yeah, I've cut babies and gave them a nice lineup. I got a little boy named Doye that come to me. Doye is 3. He be chilling. He sit on the chair by himself. He has his phone in his hand watching his show. And I give him like a mohawk, a high ball fade mohawk. And I give him a lineup, and he be.
But he know how to sit there, so that's why you know how to sit there.
But a lot of kids, the reason why you wouldn't cut their hair is because they just be wilding. Like,
I remember when I first cut my son's hair, it was so funny. Because I'm familiar with the clippers, but when I turned those clippers on his head, you should have seen how out, he jumped like, what the hell? Why is he making that noise? And then when you put it up to me, it's making more noise. So that's what really just scared him. And I was like, boy, you better sit here.
It's crazy because one of the ways that I'll like, so not too long ago, actually, earlier, like in March, a lady was like, do you think I could cut his hair? And I was like, well, he is kind of tiny, but he was chilling, right? So I'm like, but he chilling. So I was like, let me test him. So I got the clipper, I put it close to his head, and I turned it on. And he didn't like do none of that. I said, oh yeah, he gonna be cool.
Yeah.
But if that startled him and they be like, they not gonna let you touch it.
It's not gonna work. It's not.
You gotta give them the clipper, let them play with it, see that it's harmless.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't just. And most men barbers, I'm sorry, man, but most men barbers be too rough. Like they want to hold their head,
right? They
like
palming it like
you gotta
a basketball.
this is new to them. Like, you know what I mean? You gotta be sensitive to that. And so yeah, I would say any age, as long as they sit still, just don't do bald haircuts and don't put super sharp lines on them.
Okay. All right, so thank you, Jamese, for
your
interview. Before we go, you want to give out your Instagram information and
sorry. So my personal Instagram is follow Meese. So at follow Meese, FOLLOWMESE. My barbershop is called Crowned Barber Lounge. I'm on Hawthorne Boulevard, in between El Segundo and Rosecrans. That's kind of like a half a mile, but I'm in between there. 13343 Hawthorne Boulevard. You can find me on Instagram. We do have a shop page. We have 5 barbers total. Every barber in there is pretty nice. Of course, if you want the best, you're gonna have to pay the most, and you're gonna have to book. So find us at Crowned Barber Lounge, CROWND, no E, ND Barber Lounge, BARBER Lounge, LOUNGE. Sorry, my spelling ain't ever been the best, but yeah, that's where you can find me. Follow, I will follow back. I also know just a ton of people. If you need if you just moving into LA and you need some resources, if you're young and you're a millennial and you want to get out there and party once we get out of quarantine, my shop is a resource. You're always welcome.
For sure.
Come through.
This is one of my daughter's friends from college.
What's up, Jazz? That's my girl, Jay Dowse. Hey, girl.
Fresno State in the house. Also, wait, you got some new herbs on the market.
Yeah, so I also created. Well, I was already taking herbs, so I just kind of started
looking good, by the way.
Thank you. It's, my skin is vibrant because of the herbs. But anyway, I started a herbal capsule line. I was already taking herbs from Dr. Sabi's nephew. He was charging $225 a month for a 30-day supply, and that kind of just got a little bit out of my affordable range. Like I couldn't afford that no more, so I was looking for an alternative. And so I found out about a herb store in Compton called New Earth Health Store. They sell powdered herbs, raw form, and they just have a ton of great things for health in general. And it's Black owned, and people are in and out of there like crazy. But anyway, I started buying the powdered herbs, and I just Googled, like, how do I make my own capsules? I began to make my own capsules, and then I was just like, I bet you other people would take these herbs if it was that easy, if they had them in capsules, and if they had somebody to do it for them. And so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna introduce, the people that I know to herbs, and that's what I did. So I sell a 5 capsule package, and I've pretty much researched and generated capsules in a package to where it's gonna affect the entire body, from like the nervous system to digestive system, respiratory system, all of the systems. And so
in one capsule.
And not in one capsule, in 5 different capsules. So you would take 5. I take 5 capsules every morning, and I drink a lot of water. That's pretty much the only prerequisite for it, the key. But I've created a brochure for it to give all the facts that I pick and chose. I didn't give all the facts for the herbs because herbs do tons of things, each herb, but I did highlight the reasons why I chose the herbs personally and put them in the package. And I did highlight that this is a lifestyle. You should not use the herbs as a form of like the only form of trying to be healthy. You know, you have to be conscious of what you eat. You have to also drink water, and you have to also exercise. And so this is just an additive to a healthy lifestyle. So I make sure I highlight that, because, you know, some people will try to take the herbs to be healed from something, but also ain't eating right and all that stuff, and try to blame, oh, I've been taking your herbs and I still ain't. Well, your digestive system, you've been drinking water? Like, you know what I mean? So anyway, if you would like to purchase a package, they're $50. It's a 30-day supply. And I do all of the transactions personally, so you could contact me through my Instagram, direct message me, and I mail them out to you, or I can drop them off. And I package them pretty nicely. I put a couple tea bags in there, some stickers and stuff like that. And so I got about a good 25 clients that have, and over half of them have repurchased. I got a few people that's like on their third pack. So every week,
so they must be liking them.
Yeah, every week I'm mailing them out to people all the way to New York, Denver, the Bay Area. I've mailed packages to a lot of different places. So yeah, let's get healthy. That's what I'm about. I'm about self-health, and in that comes with community health. You know what I mean? So
definitely.
Yeah.
Longevity is the key. If you're not around, you can't help nobody.
How? Yeah, you know what I mean? And if you don't help yourself, how you gonna help other people?
Exactly, for sure. So thank you for tuning in for Beyond the Chairs.
Hey,
thank you, Miss
Erica. I appreciate you.
No problem.